Okay, to infinity and beyond this morning, York University unveiling 3 brand new pieces of equipment being used to study the effects of gravity on astronauts. There's actually a lot of work being done for the Canadian space program at York U. So we thought, oh, whoa. Okay, look, we're going to send Tammie.
That's not Tammie.
No, it's not Tammie. The hair is too long, right?
Hold on, Tammie's going to do that?
That's not me.
What is that, Tam? What's going on, Tammie?
Okay, so this is the York University tumbling room right now. Sandra has been so kind to volunteer so that I didn't have to do it right away and so that I could talk to Professor Lawrence Harris from York University from the Center for Vision Research. Tell us what this tumbling room is actually looking into right now, because it's not just helping astronauts, it's also helping regular folks like us.
Exactly, yes. We're looking here at our sense of orientation. So the person's moving around, as you saw just there, and that means that we can separate out the directions of gravity and vision cues that tell us about our sense of upright. So we can separate those cues out, and that tells us about our sense of orientation. So that's useful for astronauts who get very disoriented when they're in space, but it's also important on Earth for normal folks that are just trying to stand upright and everything and using their cues that they've got available. But it's also important for people who've got problems with their balance, so people who are more prone to fall and that sort of thing. We can look at the different contributions of their senses, and that might help us produce some rehabilitation possibilities to help them stay upright more.
That's amazing. And what's exciting as well is that these 3 pieces of equipment that we're going to show you on the show, they are being used to help with a research grant from the Canadian Space Agency, which is amazing. You're working with astronauts on this.
Yes. These pieces of equipment are actually funded by the Canadian Foundation for Innovation, but the results are being used for developing space-based projects as well. Because here we can alter the direction of gravity relative to the person, but in space we can actually take the gravity away. And so that tells us about its role when it's normally present. And it's also important for the astronauts themselves, who now have to work in this environment where there's no gravity, which produces unexpected perceptual issues that we're looking into.
Okay, and right now, so we're taking a peek inside with Sandra, who is grinning, and she's smiling, which is great. So she's having a good old time in there. The room, Professor Harris, can move as well. So you sometimes won't even know whether or not you're upside down or right side up, even when you're in the chair, because the room can also tilt itself.
Exactly, yes. We can rotate the room with the person so that the visual clues tell you about your orientation. They continue to tell you that you're upright, even though you may be, in fact, upside down. And so that is another way of looking at the relative importance of these different cues.
Okay,
yes.
Thank you very much. And coming up at 8:30, we're going to be back in there. I will take the seat. We'll take you a look inside as well to show you what it's like to be in that tumbling room chair. I'll send it back to Kevin and Tammie.
All right, and Tammie, we have made a special request. We are going to quadruple the speed for you when that's coming up, if that's okay.
Tam, it seems you and Winston are always inadvertently challenging each other. Would you rather perhaps lose your breakfast this morning or be a Shark's breakfast? Do you think you pulled the shorter stick, or are you game for this?
He totally pulled the shorter stick. I'm going to win this. I'm good.
Okay.
All right, so we look forward to you
I'm good with this.
spinning around, coming up a little later on here on Breakfast Television.